think of this road trip? Some fun environments, maybe to play in, coach in?
Yeah, I'm excited. Really excited for this trip. Boston will be electric. The way they're playing with that crowd. Obviously, Oklahoma City will be emotional still. And it was fun to play in Philadelphia and New York. I mean, it's basketball hotbeds, great crowds. So should be a really fun trip.
It's a good sign. Steph's doing some on-court work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he looked good. We didn't practice hard today, but he looked fine. He's probable for Thursday. I mean, unless he has a setback the next couple of days, he'll play.
When you look at this road trip, is there anything particular that you're looking to sort of see over these next 4 games? I know you guys have been playing great. It's hard to ask for too much, but anything that maybe you're looking to refine over the next
just
few?
better starts. I'd like to see better starts, fewer turnovers in the first quarter, set a better tone. We've been getting away with a lot in a few of these games. Not all of them. I think the first 4 games of this stretch, we took care of the ball, and the last couple we've been very careless. So on the road, especially, you gotta be solid to start games, and that's another step in our development.
Big quarter, but you're also not committing a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, I mean that's a big number. We talked about it last night. Raymond looked it up. We're averaging 3 turnovers in the third quarter over this stretch, and we're forcing 6. So the one thing I say all the time is, with our talent, if we can get more field goal attempts on our opponent, we're in great shape, and especially because of the explosiveness and the ability to make threes in transition, back-breaking shots like that. If we can generate that kind of ball security and advantage in the field goal attempts and possessions, we got a chance to break the game open. That's what we've been doing.
That moment January 8th up in Sac when Kevin and Draymond got into each other a little bit.
Wait, when was this?
I think you'd been ejected, but for going out on the court. January 8th in Sacramento. I know it's a long time ago, but they got after each other. One of those Sac games, and Draymond was saying not every team could withstand that, but that's the respect these guys have for each other.
Yeah.
Do you remember kind of how those guys came up with that?
I don't. I was drinking beer in the locker room.
You'd almost tackled a ref.
Yeah. I was on my 3rd beer. We had a catered meal. So I had like Chipotle going. I was watching the game, and I didn't even see that happen. So
but a moment, I do, yeah.
Honestly, I don't even remember that game. I remember the earlier game when we lost to Memphis, and Draymond kind of went at KD for the isolation near the end. But I get your point. I mean, our guys can talk to each other. Everybody understands that it's about winning and competing, and they understand each other's personalities. Draymond's a hothead. He's going to go after guys, and they accept that because they know how much he wants to win. And other guys are going to be maybe a little quieter, a little more frustrated, and they may not say anything. And so it's important that we kind of get stuff out on the table, which is our job as a coaching staff in between games. And then the players sometimes just get themselves organized during the game.
Kevin also mentioned just how much he observed how hard Draymond works on his shooting from all different spots on the floor. Do you enjoy watching him work every day?
Yeah, I think is he down there still, or I think he just,
he sure is.
yeah,
He is.
he works every day with Mike. I think he's working extra hard these last few weeks after he got off to that slow start with his shooting. And obviously, when he shoots the ball well, it's devastating because he's the one that people are going to leave open for good reason. I mean, you'd rather have him shoot than Steph. That's just, or KD or Clay. So Draymond understands that. I think what he's done is he has a great feel now for when to shoot. And I want him shooting threes, and he knows that. But I don't want, the quick one before we've explored other stuff. But what he's been great at the last couple of weeks is early in the clock, he's getting an open 3, and he's driving it. He's going right to the hole and kicking it. And so now we're getting an extra rotation from the defense. possibly a mistake from the defense. And then the shot that he's taken is the one after we've explored everything. And so it's been fun to watch that awareness from him.
As a shooter, what's going right with his shot?
I don't know. He's just in good rhythm. He's in rhythm. I think there is something to taking the right three, whether it's karma or rhythm. You have to know your game and know your place in the offense. And I think Draymond's in a great groove right now in terms of his balance between the drive and kick game and taking the right three-point shots. And then, I'm all for it. Like if he makes a couple in a row, I'm fine with him launching one. It's he's hot, go for it. But the awareness, especially early in the game, of when to shoot has been key for him. My familiarity with the millennial generation has really paid off. It's paid dividends. So I let them tweet at halftime. We sometimes all just sit in the locker room and stare at our phones, but there's like a mental telepathy. It is a bonding experience. A lot of older guys would frown upon that, or have a rule about phones. I embrace the millennial culture and their 7-second attention span. It's been a good relationship for me. You're welcome.
Did you have somebody?
Wait, what'd you say? I'm sorry, I lost my
On
focus.
behalf of the millennial generation, thank you.
Oh yeah, sorry, I lost my focus.
You discussed last night how you maybe not playing all the time. And did you have people who sort of kept you sharp?
Well, nobody texted me because
Right.
we didn't have phones back then. But they talked to me. Greg Popovich, Phil Jackson. Great. They were great communicators. Always helps to have veteran players too by your side who can talk to you. I think we have that really on this team. The fact that our guys went down to Santa Cruz the other night. I mean, two of the best players in the world on their night off go to Santa Cruz to support our guys. Think about what that does for our culture, for our organization. So we have an amazing group of guys, and they pull for each other, they support one another, and that helps everybody stay ready.
I know the center rotation has been something that you have to feel out every game with the matchups, but Looney's gotten a lot of run here over the last 5 games. Has he cemented himself in the rotation? Is it just the matchups of these last 5 games? Where's your trust level with Looney?
I trust Looney at any point in the game. We've closed games with him.
Yeah.
The hard part for him is that we've got a lot of other guys I trust too, David West, Zaza, JaVale. But the matchups seem to be going his way. I think it's the league continues to trend towards a smaller game, a switching game. He's our best switching 5. He and Draymond, obviously, but I don't really consider Draymond a 5. We just spot him there once in a while. But Looney's a 5, and he's tremendous at switching and then staying in front of guys and using verticality and not fouling. And so that's a skill that is going to help us. But we got a lot of guys who can help us, and so we just have to continue to try to keep guys in rhythm and keep them upbeat, because the flip side of that is other guys are not playing as much, which is tough. But they're all doing a great job of contributing and understanding their roles.
Boston's defensive rating is incredible right now.
Yeah.
That's why
Well, they're dialed in. They're well coached, obviously. Brad's amazing. I think Jaylen Brown in his second year has made huge strides. They add Tatum, so you got another long arm guy who can switch. And their bigs are really smart. Horford and Baines are really sharp basketball players. So they're all on a string. They play off each other really well, and they're really sound, and they're motivated. It's a team that's been on the rise the last couple of years. Lost in the conference finals. They want to win a championship, and it looks like it. Even without Gordon Hayward and that awful injury, Boston is just crushing people, and so it's going to be really fun to go against them on Thursday. We know how tough it's going to be.
even just as a coach scouting, apparently more injury, a lot more injury than most regular season games
We always, since I've been here, we've always kept our eye on the East. The handful of teams that we know we could see if we get to the finals. Obviously, the last couple of years it's been Cleveland, but I remember my first year here, Chicago had a great team, and we saw them early in the year, and it was a real glimpse of what we could be up against, and so it's a fun thing because you only play these teams twice, obviously. It's fun to go against the contenders from the other conference because you get that glimpse, and usually you're only watching them on TV, so you take advantage of the two nights that you see them in the year.
It's so early in the season, but are they the best challenger that Cleveland has potentially had in the last 2 years? This version?
Oh, over the last 3 years, or
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that, but it sure looks like Boston is the team of the future in the East. I mean, with their assets that they still have, and their young talent, and their coaching, and Kyrie is amazing. So that looks like a team that is going to be at the top of the East for a long time to come. But whether their time is now or in the future, that's to be determined. But they sure look like they want it to be right now.
Have you seen the dynamics between Clay and Steph progress in your few years here? Just in terms of their comfortability with each other. Was it pretty rock solid?
It's always been rock solid. I mean, they were together for a couple of years before I got here. So right away, they were both all-stars the first year I was here. So they had already developed that chemistry, and now they're 3 years later, they're even more comfortable. They're great friends. They love hanging out. They're just great teammates, and there's a special power, a force that comes with great teammates who grow together over the years. Whether it's like Bird and McHale, or Magic and Worthy. I mean, you can see how important continuity is. Jordan and Pippen, and so I've watched that. I've experienced it as a player with some certain teammates, and now we're seeing it now. There's just a great synergy and comfort level.
Even on some great teams, not seeing backcourt stay together.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's fun to see where they've come and to envision them together. For another 5 or 6 years. That's the plan, and they're going to go down as one of the great backcourts of all time when all's said and done. It's pretty amazing to be coaching them in their primes. I know how lucky I am. Our staff knows how lucky we are.
Going back to Boston for a second, how have you seen Kyrie's game change, if at all, since he's got?
I just think it's his team. I think with Cleveland he was such a dominant force, but it was always going to be LeBron's team, and it just looks like Kyrie knows, it's his group, and he's thriving playing with that group of players around him. Horford's a great passer. They run a lot of stuff through him at the high post. So it just seemed like the next stage in his development. He knew what he was doing when he decided to leave. So
Bold play, hold up.
Yeah, but nobody knows better than the player himself.
Absolutely.
What he's capable of, what he wants, where he's heading, and so I admire Kyrie. He's been obviously a thorn in our side for years, and now he just happens to wear green instead of whatever colors
rose?
Cleveland are. I don't know. There's blue,
Wine.
there's yellow.
It's something.
Wine.
Yeah.
Wine. When I played in Cleveland,
It was that awesome orange and blue.
we were orange and blue, but Joe Tate was a legendary radio play-by-play guy. Used to refer to the old uniforms as the wine and gold. So I think it's wine and gold.
I think that's what they're back
But
at.
they added navy in there.
Nike had to get that money in there. Got to sell those LeBron jerseys.
Whatever it takes.
You know how it goes.
Is this going to be taken as a slight by Cleveland
don't think
fans?
so.
I think so.
100%.
Right? Right. Yeah.
as long
I'm going
as
to
we
get
could all
crushed by
acknowledge-
Cleveland fans saying that I'm dissing their uniforms.
As long as we can all acknowledge the ones that you wore were the best.
I did, yeah. The diff. Yeah, I made fun of the diff. It's 58-46. God, I wish I knew how much we were down. Oh, We're down 12. Okay, now I know. Now I'm in huge trouble. Huge trouble. I just think for the education of the kids who are at the game, it's better to not tell them the answer to math. I know my son Nick literally learned math by going to the Bulls games and reading the scoreboard and doing the math himself. And I'm thankful that the Bulls did not give away the answer. Otherwise, maybe Nick never would have learned math. I don't know. God, Cleveland fans are going to hate me now. All right. Just kidding. I love you guys. All right.
Thanks, Steve.